Hello and welcome back to Bookish Brits. My name is Michelle and today I want to introduce to you the March book club choice, Trouble by Non Pratt. We here at Bookish Brits have a monthly book club that's been running since November. Every month we choose a book that all of us read and then we discuss it in a video on the last Tuesday of every month. If you ever want to get involved in the Bookish Brits book club, please let us know on Twitter, send us an email, or join the Bookish Brits book club Goodreads group. This month we chose to read Trouble by Non Pratt, a UK YA book by debut author Non Pratt. This book was published at the start of March by Walker Books. It's the story of two characters, Hannah and Aaron. We get the story from both of them. Hannah is 15 and she's just found out that she's pregnant. Aaron is a new boy at school. For some reason he decides to pretend to be the father of Hannah's baby until she is ready to admit who the real father is. And here are some of our thoughts.
I loved Trouble. I've actually already reviewed it on my blog and I pretty much didn't have enough good things to say about it. It's one of my favourite books I've read so far this year. I think it's the perfect teen read and I think especially for a debut novel it's incredibly strong. The dialogue and writing and the story, everything is just so tight and well written, so I'm a big fan of Trouble.
I absolutely loved Trouble by Non Pratt. I was a little bit nervous about starting it because I had quite a lot of expectations already built up for what it might be like and I didn't want to be disappointed. I'm also a little bit uncomfortable reading about pregnancy in books. It's just not something that I really like to read about, but I loved every second that I spent reading Trouble.
I love this book. I've talked about this book a lot, if I'm honest, in the last 6 months because I read it back in October. And I actually reread it this month because I was so excited to do that. And I just adore it. It's just beautiful. It's funny and it's brilliant in its teenage voice and it's just bang on. And quite honestly, and I've said this before, me and Non share the same reading brain. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, it is fabulous. Favourite character and why? I actually have three. I love both Hannah and both Aaron, but I have a real soft spot for Neville, Aaron's friend, who's really old. And I think it's wonderful, and I just love him because he's just a cranky old man and he just says exactly what he thinks whenever he thinks. And he doesn't really care what the people think of him. And I just think he's fabulous.
My favourite character was Aaron, I think. I think he's also the most interesting and complex character in the book. He's really funny, he's got quite a dry, quick sense of humour, which I really enjoyed. He's a really sweet guy, just genuinely nice, a good friend, has a good heart. But there's a lot more to him than you think when you first meet him, and I think it's always nice when a character is quite layered and multifaceted and you can learn more about them as the book progresses. So yeah, Aaron was my favourite.
And if I had to pick a character aside from Hannah and Aaron as my favourite characters, then I would definitely have to choose both Hannah's gran and Neville, the old man in a care home that Aaron goes to see. And I loved that Hannah had her gran in her life who she felt comfortable telling about her pregnancy, and I loved the relationship that Aaron has with Neville and the fact that their friendship continues to grow, and Neville is a person that Aaron can go to in order to share some of the secrets and the difficult things that he's been carrying around with him. I think the message of friendship in trouble is definitely one of my favorite aspects of the book. You can definitely see with Hannah and Aaron, their friendship is amazing. It has this really great, strong connection. You can see that also with the two other friends that, you know, get pulled into this circle is really great. There's such a great level of support and just being there for each other, but also my favorite element of the friendships and relationships in this book is this idea that you'd be able to tell these people absolutely anything, you know, the deepest, darkest secrets that you have, and they will still be there for you, and they will still care about you in the exact same way. And I love that about this book.
For me, yes, this is a pregnancy book, but actually it's all about friendship and picking your own friends and picking the friends who are good for you. The thing that really got me with this is the way in which Hannah's friends, as soon as she became pregnant, just dumped her and treated her completely, really awfully. And I can remember shades of that at high school, not the whole getting pregnant thing, but in that people would decide that you weren't cool anymore and just drop you because you'd done something they didn't like, and how it was really hard to try and get into that social circle. For me, that was really, really well done, in that it showed actually how fickle friendship is in high school. And often it's based on these cliques and who's popular and who's not, and who wears the right things and all this kind of stuff. And for me, that's what really made this book, actually.
I think Trouble has a really interesting message about friendship, because this book doesn't only explore the strengths of friendships, it also explores the weaknesses of fake friendships. And Hannah has one particular frenemy throughout the book who I'm not going to talk about in case anyone here hasn't read it yet, but we definitely see the bad side of friendships and how you can come through that and be stronger on the other side, as well as just the strengths of friendships. I think Trouble shows you that friendship can come in the most unlikely package at the most unlikely time, which is really important, I think, for teenagers, that you don't just, there's, you know, it's never too late to make new friends, and that person that you meet on the first day of term who you think is a bit weird and a bit of a loser could end up being the best friend you've ever had. So I think it's got a really good, strong message about friendship.
I've got a couple. Firstly, I've gone for Gritty YA because I think Trouble is, and I've gone with Salvage by Karen David because I like that one too. And also gone for another YA, one that is a bit lighter but also about thinking about friends and who you should be friends with and picking your friends wisely. So I've gone for Sarah Manning's Nobody Girl. So I think actually the themes it has about friendship and picking the right friends and being true to yourself actually resonate very much in this book too.
Recommendations: if you liked Trouble by Non Pratt, I would probably recommend a book like You Don't Know Me by Sophia Bennett. If you're looking for other really great stories about friendship, I would definitely recommend Karen David's books, especially something like Salvage if you're interested in a book with sort of like grit and edge to it. I'd probably also recommend books by Kat Clark or Melina Marchetta or Courtney Summers.
I think for people who enjoy Trouble, I would recommend any of Sarah Manning's YA books. They're quite similar in terms of the kind of humour and the sort of snappy writing, and they're very British as well, which I think really shines through in Trouble. I'd also, for maybe people who are looking for something slightly younger, I'd recommend Kara Stainton's books as well. I think Della Says Oh My God, or maybe Paige Harbison's Anything to Have You is a book that I've read quite recently. I read that around the same kind of time as Trouble actually, and I really love both of them, and they're similar in terms of the target age range and things like that. So I think I'd recommend those for anyone who's looking for something to read after Trouble.
Go and buy Trouble, read it lots,